Jaylen Brunson has had a crazy past few years in the NBA. From rising through the ranks in Dallas and eventually becoming a regular starter for the team, everyone knew that this kid had a lot of potential. However, playing second fiddle to the great Luka Doncic, he switched to the New York Knicks, and the rest is history. Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we'll be talking about the crazy trade of Jaylen Brunson. Now, you all must be thinking, what makes his trade so crazy? What are the details behind this trade? And how did he feel about the whole situation? Well, stick around till the end as we answer these questions and more as we delve into the many intricacies surrounding this dramatic trade and its aftermath. Without further ado, let's begin. First of all, let's take a trip down memory lane. Now, I'm sure you all know about the Jaylen Brunson trade saga with the New York Knicks. For those who are wondering, the trade was high profile because it came at the end of a breakout season with the Dallas Mavericks, where Brunson showcased his scoring prowess and playmaking abilities. Imagine a player picked as the 33rd pick of the NBA draft starting to play so well that he starts to overshadow your main player. Sure, he might not be as good in the regular season when you compare him to Doncic, averaging 16.3 points, 3.9 rebounds, and 4.8 assists per game. But in the playoffs, when it actually matters that you perform, Brunson averaged 21.6 points as the Mavericks reached the Western Conference Finals. That really showed his value and how he can carry the game on his shoulders, even if you have players like Doncic on your team. It showed that he also could be counted on to make clutch shots and win the game. It shows that he was a future star, and you don't find players like that very often. So naturally, everyone thought he would get a raise on his contract, as the Mavericks would want to nail down one of their best players. However, this raised an issue, since other teams were swooping in, and there were rumors that teams were offering in excess of $100 million. Now, obviously, the Mavericks wanted to keep hold of Brunson, as they had just made a good playoff run and wanted to win the championship next season. However, they did not have that much cap space and could not afford a big contract and meet the $100 million valuations set by other teams. But still, there was a chance, as Brunson had a big shot of winning something with the Mavericks. He even was willing to take a discount deal, rumored to be around $60 million. However, according to him, the Mavericks were not willing to give him such a contract. Don't worry, folks, we'll discuss this in depth later in the video. Alright, but back to the topic at hand. So, we were at a crossroads here. Either Jaylen Brunson can keep playing for the Mavericks and potentially win championships, but take a massive pay cut, or take a big money contract and become the main star for the Knicks. Well, some of you might think that this is an easy decision, but honestly, it's hard to leave a team at which you've already been established. But in the end, the defining factor was the assistant coach of the Knicks, who just so happened to be the father of Brunson, and helped to convince him to take the deal. And the rest is history. Now, I'm sure you all know about how Brunson has slowly become the main player for the Knicks. He has slowly solidified himself as one of the best players in the league as a Knicks player, and has broken several records. Just imagine, he's the only player to drop 8 three-pointers without missing in a single half. Now that is a crazy stat. But the main elements of his game, that are his driving skills, how he gets fouls and gets on the free throw line, and his passing ability, make him an overall package. Honestly, at times, he is literally unguardable, and the best thing about him is that he's just getting started. He still has not hit his peak. Just imagine how good he'll be when he does. The Knicks can actually win something if they bolster their squad. Now, let's talk about how he felt about leaving the Mavs. In fact, you can learn about the facts shared by the man himself, as he talked about it on the All the Smoke podcast. Honestly, he had more of a mixed reaction to the whole thing. First of all, he highlighted his initial hopes to secure a stable future with the Mavericks. Now, I don't know how much of this is true, but Brunson did say, "I really did want to stay in Dallas." However, in the end, apparently negotiations ultimately did not materialize into an extension before the 2022-23 season. I can understand that the Mavericks had a cap issue and could not afford a big extension, but to be honest, they could have at least done a $60 million contract at the very least. Obviously, given how helpful he has been in the playoffs, Brunson knew that he was worth more. Besides this, he also knew that he had what it takes to carry the team alone. So, in the end, it was a matter of who wanted it more. The Knicks had a better deal and valued his input more. And naturally, he chose the Knicks. I don't blame him though. Despite the bad deal, he was still willing to play for the Mavericks. He gave them time to come up with a better deal. I know the Mavericks must be really regretting that decision, but I guess they thought that they had a better team, and Brunson will not leave for a misfiring Knicks side. But all in all, if I had to sum everything up, His journey from Dallas to New York symbolized a strategic career move that aligned personal aspirations with professional ambitions, setting the stage for continued success and influence in the NBA. But honestly, it must have really hurt when Brunson played for the first time against the Mavs. And while you might think this was just another match, it was honestly a reunion with fans who had supported him through pivotal moments in his career, supported him as he ascended through the ranks, and established himself as a top player. So naturally, the game was poised to be amazing. In fact, it became even more complex because he was playing against his old teammates and friends, such as Josh Green. Green actually ended up guarding Brunson for a while and actually did a good job, as Brunson was only able to score 13 points in the first half thanks to Green's defensive efforts, which highlighted the competitive nature of the game and the players' respect for one another. However, in the end, Brunson came out on top, and he led his Knicks to a comeback win, scoring 22 points after the half. It was a big, fat reminder to the Mavericks senior officials that they had screwed up when they opted to let him leave for the Knicks. But to be very honest, I doubt he actually remembers the Maverick days. He has found a new home with the Knicks. The fans love him. He is playing his best basketball. And most importantly, the team is built around him. In my opinion, it was the best decision for him and his agent. In fact, it seems like he's so happy with the Knicks that he's agreed to take a huge wage cut extension with the Knicks. Imagine being so dedicated to winning that you take a massive wage cut, which will amount to millions lost, just to help your team acquire more players and build up an even more competitive squad that manages to win not only one championship, but multiple championships. I mean, just imagine. The extension will pay him $156.6 million over 6 years. $113 million guaranteed less than he could have received had he waited until free agency. He literally gave away $100 million just to help his team bolster the squad with new acquisitions. Now, this is not just crazy, it's ludicrous. And honestly, in all of NBA history, no player has ever left this much money on the table, especially not one in the early part of their prime like Brunson is. So you can now see how crazy the trade saga of Jaylen Brunson has been. From dropping crazy performances for the Mavericks, to trading to the Knicks, to signing an extension and taking a huge pay cut. It really feels like a basketball movie. The Knicks are already almost done with trading Mikal Bridges from the Nets, who is easily one of the best forwards in the league right now. In the end, the fact of the matter is that Jaylen Brunson has single-handedly helped the Knicks come back in the NBA and develop a foundation from which they can challenge for titles. In fact, he's gone beyond the norm by taking this pay cut, and you can bet the Knicks will be huge favorites going into the new seasons. Now, I wouldn't care much about the pay cut to be very honest, but Brunson now has fans who adore him, a team that can win titles, and most importantly, the team is built around him, according to his strengths. It's a win-win situation in my opinion. But what do you think? Do let us know in the comments down below. That's a wrap, folks. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new video from us. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.